morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
We get on the interstate here. We're going to Chicago.
Oh, and look at over there. Yeah, that's David. But behind him is Exxon Mobil. Look at how big it is.
We are in, where the hell are we? We're in
Joliet, Illinois.
Joliet, Illinois, yeah.
Look at all that. That is so cool.
Now, let me clean my windshield off real quick. Let me tell you the goofiness I did this morning. We'll be right back with that. All right, so we came in from the I-57 last night, which
continue on I-55.
We needed to get over to I-55, and to do that out here with where my fuel stop was, you got to take some state highways. And when we looked up the state highways, we were taking Illinois 17, which was good for all. We were taking 57 to Illinois 17 for like 3 miles to Illinois 113. We were going to take that up to Illinois 129, which then put us on the
the 113.
The 55.
Oh, okay.
I already got the 113 there.
I was entranced by my Exxon Mobil.
Yeah. So, pay attention to what you're doing. I'm paying you for proper stuff.
You paying me.
So anyways, that Route 113, when looked up on the atlas, it showed it as a truck STWA route. But whether this is right or wrong or whatever, I always look, or Melissa looked, at the restrictions and heights just to make sure. And it had a restriction from the 55 to the 113. Now, having said that, Melissa was looking this route up because she's learning how to read the atlas. And at this point, all she said, okay, 17's good, 113's good, but there's a restriction on it from I-55 to the between Braidview, and the I-55, Braid, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm on the 57, just getting ready to get off at 17. So I pull over on the off ramp. And grab the atlas and look at it. And mind you, you could barely see the 113 and all this on there. So this is my point of the story is, now I had her whip out her Google Maps. Yes, Google Maps. You're going to go, what? And we looked at that route. And what we did is we found the 113 to the 55. And yes, that went through a little residential neighborhood. But when you look at what the GPS is telling us to do, it wanted you to make a right on the 129. So on Google Maps, you see the 129 was right before it entered that neighborhood. And just Google Earthing it, it looked clean. And then the 129 turned into
The 55, didn't
the 55. You know, I'm just paying attention to my driving here too, so.
And the other thing too with the atlas didn't show the 129 because it's so small. So that's when I went on and onto Google and I Googled Illinois 129, and that brought up. That's how I found previous things that were not on the atlas. Was I Googled them and it brings up a map and that shows me exactly. or if David wants me to look up something in the atlas and I have no idea where we're at, I'll Google the highway and find out what city it's in, and then I'll go to that city and start from there, depending where we're at.
Yeah, she has a little bit of a problem because I'll tell her, hey, you know what? Look up in Kentucky or, you know, whatever. Look up in here, this interstate, exit this, and start there. So yeah, she'll sometimes go because she can't find it. Although this new atlas, we got the large scale, it probably is going to be easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she was saying, is the 129 was not in the atlas.
No, too small.
Because it was a big cluster right where it should be. So she went ahead and actually Googled the Kentucky,
The 129.
Illinois.
129.
Yeah,
Illinois
when you did it
129.
from their DOT page or something.
No, I just put in Google search Illinois 129, and then it brought up a map of the 129. It was Wikipedia, and it told the history of the 129. But then you can click on the map, and it brings up the Google map, and I was able to go up there. It is, and look at the atlas.
You read something where you were on like Illinois dot or something.
Yeah, there was a couple, because then we were looking for why the restriction.
Well, no, because then you read and it said that the 129 was a truck route.
Right.
And then you looked at 113 and it said 113 is not a through truck route.
Right.
So anyways, so we look at all that and I told her, okay, it's all good. What it's going to do is it's going to turn us on the 129 before that restriction.
Right.
And sure enough, we went through these little country back roads, which I bet you would have been beautiful during the day because it was pretty cool looking at night.
Well, they had a state park that was, you could hunt, and
yeah, it like ran
had a
down
river.
the side of the road, and it, you know, you could hunt, fish, all kinds
horseback
of stuff.
ride, all kinds of neat stuff, and of course it was dark.
And yeah, I'm hanging out in this lane because I got over to get this truck on, but now he's stuck next to me. So I have nowhere to go, so I don't want to hear no show. I know I'm goofing on you, Joe. Hey, Joe, I got to call you today because I said I didn't listen to voicemail. I was in bed now when you called last night. But anyways, back to my story here. So anyways, we looked at all that and it was clean. We went that route. It was a beautiful drive. Got there, shut down. Stayed the night. Now, new dilemma. Is this load
He flashed you.
this load picks up tonight at 10 o'clock up at Nestle in Wisconsin. Been there before. There's a little truck stop right next to it. So I'm looking at this route, and of course it's a toll road. So last night, being I started using the Garmin and my Ram McNally's put away, the Garmin does not give you the cost of tolls. That is the only real thing I'm not liking about the Garmin. So there's an app I use on the phone. It's called Toll Guru, and it does a really good job of giving you the different routes you can take with tolls, fastest route, cheapest route, so on and so forth. So last night I looked up the cheapest route, which was no tolls, and it was going to take me about 5 hours and 45 minutes to get there. And I'm like, you know what? To save $50 in tolls, we'll go ahead and do that. Then the new dilemma is, well, if we leave when our 10-hour break's up and haul ass, we can do an 8-2 split and pick up that load. Or we can stay right where we were till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, because then we would get there. You could arrive 2 hours early. But if we do an 8-2 split, we're going to get there, you know, an hour early from the drop dead time. So last night I decided to do no tolls take the extra time, do the 8-2 split. When I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I started thinking, oh crap, we got to go through Chicago. What's the traffic going to be like? So I looked up, I popped up Toll Guru again, looked at it, and lo and behold, it has got an hour and a half delay. So it's going to really cause a problem. So at this point, I decided, you know what? We're going to just stay right here until 3 o'clock, save the $50 in tolls. Oh, because I looked at the toll routes, and the toll routes would get me where I needed to go on time for $50. But being we don't need to push it that hard because we are running on recaps, and when we pick the load up tonight, if we ran it this morning, we can only run a couple hours afterwards and then shut down. It's like, well, why not just run it there at 3 o'clock? Yeah, we burn most our clock up, pick it up, run a couple hours, shut down. No harm, no foul. It's going to be the exact same way, one way or the other. Then I sat there and I told myself, David, that's not running hard. That's not running hard. That's not you. So I decided, you know what? Let's look at the toll route, the cheapest toll route, which is $42 or something. It's going to get me there an hour. It's going to get me there on time, because the other route was just I wasn't going to make it to be able to do an 8-2 split. There just was no way, not with Chicago traffic, and it was telling me there was an hour delay. This route has like a little 5-minute delay up the way, so we should be good. So I decide, you know what, screw it, we're going to save the $50 and we're going to just leave at 3 o'clock. And of course, I decide that ain't running hard, so I said, screw it, let's go. And as soon as I broke my clock, I remembered, oh crap, I was going to save $50 by not going, or $40. So
he squirreled it.
I cost myself $40 to give myself the satisfaction of knowing that I'm running hard. I'm running hard for no reason. There's no point in it, because yes, I can drop this load early because it's a drop and hook on the 90, but I don't have the hours to drop it early, so I have to take a break anyways because of recaps. So I'm going to get some comments. Well, I won't get comments because I'm going to talk about what your comments are going to be right now, saying, well, that was poor pre-planning. That was poor pre-planning on your part. Whoa, say that 3 times fast. And I'm going to say yes and no. It was poor because I should have stuck with my original of waiting until I realized that's not running hard, and that freaked me out to just sit there all day. Just made my head start vibrating.
Yeah, David can't sit all day.
Not when I know I can drive. Not when I know I can move.
Exactly.
So I think I'm happy with my decision to spend the $40. I did have Melissa write down that we paying a toll on this because I want to check how much the toll was and compare it to what Toll Guru says. But I'll definitely be taking, or going to try to take, a free route to my 90, which is going to involve some state highways and whatnots, because it's right off the I-80. It's right off the I-80, and the last mile tells you exit and go through the toll booth to exit there. But I know there's a way to go without the toll, because I've been to that place before, and it was telling me to get off at such and such when I did the no toll, but the road was closed, or there was major construction, and it just didn't work out, so I ended up doing the tollway. So I'm going to try to do no tolls going that way to save it, because this ain't a, well, no, I'm not going to say it's not a great paying load. This load's paying $1.70 a mile, or $1.73 a mile. It's working with my recaps. The only thing that I'm hoping that don't happen is that we get weather tomorrow. I can't remember if I looked at the weather report for tomorrow, because I'm not too keen on taking little routes when there's ice and whatnot in the middle of the night in the dark.
Well, Wisconsin said it was, little tiny snow.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about. Yeah, I ain't worried about that. I was worried about going back through Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Because I did see Wisconsin was okay.
Yeah.
So that's my story on my trip plan for this. How I can goof it up just by wanting to run hard. And see, my theory is on running hard, it's not so I can run around going, oh, I ran hard. No, it's because if I can get this straight, the earlier I can get this dropped, the sooner I can get another load. Now, if this had an appointment time on it, and none of this would have benefited me, yeah, I'd have still done the same thing, because my theory is get it as close as you can to your 90 as soon as you can, and that way, if anything goes down, it goes down on that back side, not the front side. I just don't like waiting on the front side. I just feel like there's all those miles you could have ran, and especially if you end up getting a flat tire or something, it's like, oh my God, if I would have just left, I'd have been good. So I think my little mind just plays games with me. Am I doing it right? I don't know. Am I doing it the way I think is right? Yeah. What do you think about that, Melissa? You think I'm doing it right? You think I should have waited?
Well, it's been put in your head enough, and mine even, listening to your fleet manager tell you, get to your 90 first, then relax and play around. Like you said, do everything.
My fleet manager has never said, get to your 91st and then relax and play
No,
around.
at the Ace 2.
I say that.
No, at the Ace 2.
Oh, yeah, no, he'd say, well, yeah.
He's a believer in that. That's
Right.
how he used
But
to run.
I've learned that philosophy from
Right.
way before I went to Ace 2
Oh,
class.
yeah.
It just makes sense. My trainer asked me one day, what do you think? He gave me the option, you want to do this? And I was like, no, man, let's get to where we got to go and
Right.
wait over there. Because even in my appliance business, I didn't like waiting up front. I like to get out there, get it all done, and then be done and have all the time on the flip side.
Right.
But you're right. You're right. Fleet managers all say that.
Yeah.
Get to, because they'll, when they'll talk, when they message you and stuff, they'll sometimes say, get there as soon as possible.
Right.
Which is, they're just trying to tell you, get your ass moving, boy. Although I don't really get those messages because I move right away. But yesterday, I did get that message from my fleet manager yesterday morning. Hey, your 90 is a drop and hook. Get it, it's a drop and hook as soon as possible.
And they weren't kidding, because once you dropped that, the yard dog picked it up like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, they wanted
They
that.
wanted it fast.
He was stalking me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and check it out. When I was dropping it, she goes, "Oh, we don't have. All we have is an intermodal empty." And I was like, "Oh, damn! Let me see if I can take it." So she goes. There was a prime guy next to me. He goes, "Well, hey, I'm dropping an empty." I was like, "Sweet, can I take his trailer?" She goes, "Yeah." So I asked him, "Has it got fuel in it, and is it washed out?" Expecting to hear maybe. But he goes, yeah. I said, oh, good. You did your job right on. Well, and then he goes, well, actually, my co-driver did it. I said, okay, well, I don't care. You guys, that truck did its job.
Done.
So, yeah, it's been washed out. It was leaking some water out of it when I got it, and I opened the doors, and it was all washed out. But it wasn't full of fuel. Am I happy with the amount of fuel in it? Yes. It has 7/8 of a tank of fuel. Now, some guys will say that's full because if you stick the nozzle in your tank and wait for it to click off, it only gives you about 7/8 tank full. Now these shippers shippers and receivers, when you drop a trailer off, they always mark them 3/4 of a tank. The trailer I dropped off was full to the top because I just filled it at my fuel stop, and it barely uses fuel because of the temperature it was set at. Okay, good. This traffic's going on another freeway.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Now we can get going again. Oh, that's an off ramp.
That's an off ramp.
Oh man, I didn't even notice that. So I know it was full to the top, but they still mark it 3/4 because I've called them on it before. Well, wait a minute, it's full, and they're like, oh yeah, well, because they don't really look, so they're covering their butt. But when I do my drop trailer report, I put what fuel's in it. If it's 7/8, it's 7/8. If it's full, it's full. Prime will know. They'll know. Hey, just put this much fuel in it. 10 minutes before he dropped it. It's whatever. That's not the point. What was my point? I freaking lost my train of thought.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. So he dropped it nice. So I was able to pick up a nice clean trailer. Although the lady said, because I told her I'm going to stay there, she said, well, yard dog might come and try to take the trailer if you're here. I was like, yeah, well, the yard dog will have to take it from my cold dead hands.
But we never got woken up.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, because it's like, there ain't no way in hell you're going to get my clean, empty trailer. Because she, at that point, she gave me a trailer number, and it wasn't his, but she said, yeah, you can take it. Because she did. She goes, oh, a trailer just popped up, which was going to be one they just emptied. So, it was probably...
Did you squirrel again?
No, I'm thinking I probably should have took the empty, dirty trailer. That way they had a clean one to load. Huh.
It was only an intermodal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. It was an intermodal.
They probably would have said no.
Yeah, okay. So right on. You guys have a wonderful day. Like, comment, subscribe.
And ring that bell.